Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant, joined by Grant and Jeb tonight. Boys, how are we doing?
Doing pretty well. We won a football game.
We won a football game.
Won a football game.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Jeb, Bill Belichick's still the head coach at UNC.
Yeah, we don't talk about UNC.
All right, boys. I got two questions for Around the Horn tonight. First question, Tony Vitello, college baseball. What's the right choice for him? Staying put at Tennessee or going to take the San Francisco Giants job? Kind of a lot to think about there. Jeb, we'll start with you.
I think it's an easy one for me. I think I'm going to the Giants.
Okay, why?
College baseball is big, at least like from our perspective, but it's not big like college football, right? It's not big like college basketball. And so like getting a chance to go to the big leagues, like big leagues money, big leagues
Iconic franchise,
like you're
sweet city.
Yeah, like it's just, if you're someone who's built a career being a coach, manager, you're going to the big leagues, like that's honestly like that's the pinnacle, right? So that's the way I see it. College baseball just isn't like, what are you going to do, hang around college baseball forever?
Hey, now it's a nice place.
You can always go back, or
yeah. No, you're right.
It's just college baseball just isn't the same, in my opinion. But it's still great, but it's not the same. So
Grant.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That was going to be part of my argument too. Like you get this one chance to get this kind of big job, and if you don't make it in 3 or 4 years, hey, you can have a pick whatever college job you want at that point. So I think the salaries, Belvin last year for the Giants made $4 million. Vitola makes $3 million at Tennessee. I'm sure they'll bump that up to whatever. But I still think you take the job, especially if you get an opportunity like he potentially has. He hasn't said yes yet. He hasn't said no, but it's heavily favored, leaning that way. So yeah, go take the big job, and if you kind of don't pan out, there's always college to fall back on. But you got to take that chance.
Okay, I think you'll convince me.
It's Tennessee.
Yeah. I think you'll convince me. It's kind of nice.
Michael's not here to defend himself.
He's not. But I am curious to know what Mike would think. But I was just going to say, I was thinking y'all might say stay and put it Tennessee because money, I mean, yeah, he can make $1 million or $2 million more. He already has plenty of money. But he's the king in Knoxville. They would never fire him. Well, I say that. It is Tennessee. Maybe they would after one bad season. But you would think that he has a contract for life. But y'all are right. You can always go back to college. I wouldn't like being in the Dodgers division. That's a tough uphill battle, but the Giants are willing to spend, so maybe we'll see. Next question. Grant, start with you on this one. F1 announced last week that the races are going to be moving to Apple TV next season in the United States. They have previously been aired on ESPN. Obviously, the Netflix documentary skyrocketed the exposure, but being available basically on any cable provider, internet streaming provider was a huge boon to that momentum, right? And now going behind Apple TV, good or bad move, Grant?
I mean, it's a good business move, obviously, like super lucrative. The F1 movie with Brad Pitt came out this past over the summer. You would have thought Netflix would jump in there. Obviously, like you said, the connection with the documentary coming into, you would have thought they would have jumped to the front of the line after ESPN was like, maybe this is getting too lucrative for us. We got to pay for all these college football rights, these SEC $1 million rights. Hockey, you get the new NBA deals. You kind of have to cut some other things like that too. So I think it's a good move, a business move. But obviously the exclusivity of it being on Apple is obviously a lot different than just turning on your YouTube TV, going to ESPN. So I think it's a good business move for them, but obviously it hurts for those that don't have that kind of subscription.
And we always agree on this podcast. And I know Cole's probably listening, and he's like, these guys always agree with each other. And so
we did last week.
Like, I was going to say something that, very much agreed with Grant. Like, it's a good business move for Apple. It's the way that things are going, right? I think it sucks though, because again, you have like all these different, like if you watch NFL, you got to get, Sunday Ticket with YouTube TV. That's your avenue. Or you watch the local games on your cable. And then you have to get ESPN subscription to do ESPN Plus. And then I have to get an Apple TV subscription or Apple TV subscription to watch F1. It's like I know everyone listening to the podcast right now is like, dude, I have so many subscriptions, so many logins, so many different accounts. It's so annoying. So there's got to be a way, like at some point, that just gets, we're going away from it all being centralized and everything's now dispersed into each different company and subscription. So that's annoying, but I do get it. And I will definitely have to just manage my subscriptions and then get Apple and watch F1 when that happens. But
I mean, that's the bet, because the GM team obviously is going to be a huge momentum builder in the United States. We have the Haas team, but they are trash. So we have a second opportunity now.
we
Presumably
call
they'll
it
be good. Haas
in North Carolina.
Automotive.
They're based here.
And so
That's
if
right.
we have an American team that just really turns it on the first couple seasons that they're in the league, maybe people will buck up and pay the new subscription. But I don't know. I think they're betting on that happening, and if it doesn't, I mean, I watch every F1 race. I'm not sure if I'm going to subscribe to Apple TV. That's one more thing I don't need, and it's kind of already an auxiliary sport to watch. But we'll see.
Prime got the NBA, so all season.
Yeah, I don't watch anything on Prime, even though we have an Amazon Prime subscription.
You don't even watch Thursday Night Football on Prime?
No.
And Apple bumped their subscription up. It used to be like $5.99, then it turned to $8.99.
Yeah, now
it's
like $15.
$12.99 right now. Yeah.
All right, let's get to Samford football. We finally got a dub. We were 0-6 coming into the game. This was the one. If you've been listening, yeah, we've managed our expectations. It started with 3 wins. We thought we could get 3, possibly 4 wins this season. We dialed it down a little to solid 3. Dialed it further down to about 2. I think we're still sitting at 2 because you never know. This was the one though we felt most confident in. VMI, the worst team in the league. The big news in this one: Brady Stober getting his first start. Quincy on the bench. Not that Brady performs statistically any better or worse than Quincy has behind this offensive line, but he did get the benefit of playing easily the worst opponent. And guys, we still should have lost. Grant, how about you walk us through the VMI victory?
Man, it was back and forth. It was like neither team wanted to win, and it's like, oh yeah, let's see which team can go make a field goal. But you mentioned Stober, 34 for 43, 285 with 3 tutties and 1 interception. Also led the team in rushing with 45 yards, with CJ Evans being out. Preston Bird, 9 catches for 116 and a tutty, along with Calvin Jones, 9 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. We've seen it with Stober kind of jumping into play the last few weeks. The offense has been moving a little bit better. He's getting the ball out quick, which is what Hatcher kind of wants to see. And he's kind of struggling. Quincy was struggling, obviously, behind this offensive line, being 3rd in the entire country in FBS and FCS when it comes to like getting the number of times you're getting pressured in your drop back. Like, that's pretty intense. You got to get the ball up a lot quicker, a lot faster. Stober will take some more shots down the field. He had a couple of really nice balls down both sidelines. He's a freshman. He's going to have some misses, but still you kind of live with those if he's going to go take those chances, which is something that you haven't seen under Quincy. So at least Stober will take that chance. Maybe too much of a chance when it comes to a freshman. But going back and forth, Samford really struggled defensively. VMI is basically just running RPO. We're just going to throw it to the receiver, and he's going to go gain 20, 25 yards. There's literally the same RPO every time. They got a bunch of yards off of that. Hence why VMI quarterback Colin Shannon threw for 419 and 2 touchdowns on 24 completions. His longest was 65, but that was one of those RPO slants where the receiver caught it, broke contain, and ran almost to the house. So it's good to finally get away and get that win. Trey Linhart had a huge interception while VMI was driving right after Samford had just given away.
Game-saving.
Samford drives right down the field. Stober engineers a drive and gets down the field for Jake Gardner to kick a 37-yard field goal to take the lead 24-22. VMI gets the ball back with a 128 and no timeouts left. And in 3 plays, they find themselves all the way down to the Samford 35 because they throw a complete bomb to the middle of the field to get all the way down there. Sure enough, they're in field goal. They're thinking they're in field goal range. We'll be fine. We'll be good. They hand it off 3 times. Samford calls their timeouts just in case. And of course, VMI pushes their like 36-yard field goal left for Samford to get the win. So it wasn't pretty. Probably should have lost, but again, a win is a win. You take it. Obviously, I can get it, especially with the start that we've had. So good to get that kind of win on the road, especially with that long trek up there, up and down to VMI.
Definitely should have lost.
The North Carolina boys
Yeah.
Brady Stober from Hickory, North Carolina.
That's right. And Trey Lenhart,
And
I think, is from Carolina.
Is Trey Lenhart from
Well, he at
North
least
Carolina?
transferred from App State.
Okay. Calvin Jones is from Forest City, North Carolina.
Okay.
I think he didn't lead the team in receiving, but caught a few balls, right? But actually, let's look at where is
Trey's probably. I don't know. But yeah, we should have lost. His pick was one opportunity where VMI could have scored a touchdown easily after we gave it up essentially in the red zone. But the player of the game for me was Noah Jones, punter. 4 punts over 50 yards. That's how you win a game when you're outgained by 140 yards. That's how you win right there. You make that offense make one more snap, make them operate efficiently. And that was the crazy difference because the turnover margin was 1-1. And we did not, still just could not move the ball that well. VMI is atrocious, and we still only got 24 points.
So our second win of the season is going to be Texas A&M.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's a payback. Yeah.
How wild would it be though if in a crazy different universe, the Samford Bulldogs rolled into College Station and beat the number 1, 2, or 3 team in the country to ruin their championship season?
It would be
because they're
insane.
number 3 in the country right now, right? So
Correct.
it's
it would be insane.
Sorry.
Man, I just want to find the end zone. I don't know about winning a game.
Dude. Well,
yeah.
Hopefully we can find the end zone a lot easier than we did against Baylor, but
yeah. Hey, Bucky, can you go into Mike Oko's office real quick? But hey, I know, can you be nice to them, for one to let them score a couple times?
Look, it's not even A&M week, and I'm already thinking 77-0. But any thoughts on I know it was VMI, so I don't want to Brady Sober did win Freshman of the Week nationally, Stats Perform, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
But look, he looks good. He looks okay, right? But he doesn't blow us away. And I still get back to the point, I'm not quite sure quarterback was our problem. Obviously Hatcher's trying to save his job, and he's like, oh, look, I've made a change. But tell me if I'm not seeing something y'all are. I just did not see him operate any more or less efficiently. He was 34 for 43. All right, cool. 285 yards. That's still extremely inefficient.
He's doing better getting the ball out quicker. He's at least taking chances down the field. Obviously Quincy hasn't had much time back there, hence the number of dropbacks he's been pressured on.
Yeah.
But Stober's still working the offense a little bit better. Obviously a true freshman, not as big compared to what we've kind of seen in the past, but still he at least tries to make sure they move the ball down the field and kind of extend the offense a little bit compared to what they've kind of had other than the Western Carolina game where Quincy was basically me in college football running for my life and spinning around 3 times and trying to find an open receiver, circles over there, throw it to him. But Stober's kind of done a little bit better of getting the ball out quick. And so, he's getting better and better each week. But again, have been spoiled with quarterback play in the Hatcher era for sure.
Hold on. So he's completing 70% of his passes, 2 games, right?
1.5, yeah.
Yeah, 1.5.
Or 1.25.
For 747 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, passer rating of 138. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but look at how many yards it takes, or how many yards he's gained with how many completions. It's not. Great, it's not good.
Well,
and neither was Quincy's.
On 100 attempts. Yeah.
So yeah, you can have 80% completion or 70% completion, but if you're dinking and dunking, you're not really scoring.
You're kind of right. Quincy he's 68% completion rate this year for 1,300 yards and 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a rating of 124.
And that is one difference, I think. Quincy, when he pushes it gets picked off. Brady maybe gives you that chance. And maybe, the UTC game, we'll talk about it now, UTC coming up, that maybe could keep us in the game because UTC is nothing special. We thought they'd be much better this season, but they're 3-4, wins over Stetson, VMI, and then this past week, ETSU, 21 unanswered. They were calling it a comeback. It was basically tied going into the 4th quarter. So I'm not quite sure if it's a comeback. But they did score 21 unanswered to win 42-38. But boys, this is about as average of a team as we're going to face the rest of the stretch.
Perfect.
It's a running based team, so I don't think we're going to get torched through the air for 400 some odd yards. So that bodes well. Camden North is the quarterback, 9 touchdowns, 7 picks, 56% completion percentage. He does average about 40 yards on the ground, but I'm not sure what the gross is because that does include sacks. They don't give up too many sacks because they don't pass it that much. But they got a decent running back in Justice Durant, and then Ryan Ingram is their power back. This offense is a little less anemic than ours, but certainly not explosive. And then the biggest difference in UTC this year is their defense. Defense the past 2 years, first and second in the conference in scoring defense, giving up about 15 points a game. This year they're giving up 26.7. So almost double what they have the past 2 years. And something crazy, especially from a UTC team, no one has more than 2 sacks. And not that many guys have sacks. So that's a interesting little change that I'm a big fan of because UTC, that's usually their bread and butter. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but it doesn't seem as big of a stretch to be competitive per se.
Yeah, I'm going through trying to find where they sit sacks wise. Yeah, Citadel is worst in the league when it comes to sacks with 6. Samford right ahead of them with 9. Mercer, of course, ahead of them with 24. So yeah, they haven't had as much success. But yeah, this is another game that Samford, like you said, has a chance to kind of move the ball. This should be high scoring. We'll see how Stober plays at home in his first career start at home, but he's getting better and better every week. So this is an advantageous matchup rather than having to play like Mercer after you just had to play VM.
Jeb, any thoughts on UTC?
No, I mean, yeah, it'd be probably a more evenly matched game. Probably still favors UTC, but
Sure.
Yeah, it's running the ball, maybe not as much pressure on the court on Stober. Maybe our guys can just air it out and play the offense and like do something, maybe get the second win. But
I mean, yeah, Preston Bird may make a few plays. I mean, that's the thing. If they're giving up
at home, so.
They're giving up close to 27 points a game. I mean, we're going to make some plays on this defense. It's a matter of, all right, I know they don't pass it that well. Are they going to be able to pass it better on our defense? And if they're not, then we have a fighter's chance. Nothing to this point has showed me that that's a possibility, but you never know.
At least we're not 0-7 coming into this one, right?
I know.
Yeah. Just, no matter what you think about the matchup, it just obviously felt good actually changing the column on the left-hand side rather than just adding another one on the right-hand side. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want to pump too much sunshine. It's probably going to be ugly. But let's get to the state of the SoCon. So results from the weekend, obviously Samford over VMI 24-22. Wofford over Furman 31-13. And probably the biggest surprise, ETSU fell to UTC 38-42. Western Carolina over Citadel in a shootout 45-38. Dickens had 369 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns. He's very good at football. Games this week, UTC traveling to Samford, Citadel at Furman, VMI at Mercer, and then Wofford at ETSU. Western is off. Standings going into this week, Mercer's undefeated 4-0. Number 1 scoring defense, number 2 scoring offense. Tends to be a good combination. Western tied atop the conference at 4-0 as well. And then UTC at 2-1, Furman at 2-2, Citadel tied with them at 2-2. Wofford 1-2, ETSU 1-3, Samford 1-4, baby. And then VMI 0-3. Boys, are we going to finish ahead of anybody other than VMI? Maybe, please. Maybe. Brady, come on, man. Here's the problem. If Brady plays too well, he's going to transfer.
It might be a whole new roster at that point. But,
I think I saw on Twitter some freshman tight end like tweeted out some scouting report, and I'm like, "Are you entering the portal? Are you not? Like, what does that mean?" I don't know.
It's turning into like, I mean, it's always, I guess, been this way, but it's more this way now. Like, in the Bundesliga,
mm-hmm.
where a lot of like the bottom league Bundesliga teams, like they'll do really well at scouting, they'll get guys, and then they'll play well, and then they'll like go to Bayern Munich, or they'll go to you know, the
Borussia
big,
Dortmund and
Borussia
Dortmund,
Dortmund. They'll go to some of the
Wolfsburg.
Italian leagues, or they'll go to the Spanish, like La Liga, or wherever. That's what it feels like now. But so it's like, don't play well. I mean, play just good enough.
Yeah, you just good enough.
Yeah. Is Preston? How old is he? I can't remember off the top of my head. He needs to chill.
Preston's a sophomore, true sophomore.
Okay, yeah, he needs to just get benched. You know, I think have a few drops. That would be really.
We've
helpful.
seen enough. Yeah, he's got a hammy. He's trying to work through. He's just not available.
There are some
Here's the
guys
thing.
I would like to retain.
Here's the thing: we're watching guys leave, and then they just don't do anything. It's like,
Correct.
oh, why you're getting playing time at Samford? Like,
Yeah, it's fun. Football's fun.
football is fun when you're doing that. It's a good school. Stay.
Not
there,
sure if it's
finish
fun to
it
go
out.
1-6 though. That's
It's not fun to
a
go
dilemma.
1-6, but it's also like, if you're gonna transfer to Charlotte, and is he playing that much? He's playing a little bit.
Yeah,
DJ
he was
Mason.
he was playing well to start the year. I haven't checked in a while. He had a
Exactly.
game. I forget who they played, but he had like a 200-yard day. I forgot who it was against.
What about CJ Douglas? Because Houston's rolling.
Yeah, CJ, he has been starting. He has been playing.
See, like that's a good
Mahal.
move. They're sitting second in the Big 12. Oh, it's kind of a
6-1.
cluster at the top.
All right,
But
he's second on the team in receptions. So.
yeah, I mean, sometimes it can work out. Sometimes it can't work out.
And we like EJ Mason. Also, he's close to me. So
Yes.
Yeah, and he got that extra JUCO year, so why not go take advantage?
but
Who was
you
even-
see what I mean? Like, you pull in a chore, you go to Kansas State,
Yeah.
and you just like, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And now we don't really like you. So awesome.
And now he's in Starkville. So
Which look, I'm kind of here for it. You know, what if it works out? I heard the academic standards are a little bit looser down in Stark Vegas, but that may just be rumors.
does Starkville even check? They just come on, bring you in.
I don't know. Some of those East Mississippi cats weren't getting in, so you know they do
That's
look
true.
at some. All right, boys, let's get to State of the Bulldogs. Football beat VMI 24-22, first win of the season. UTC coming to Homewood this Saturday, who 2-1 in conference play. The highlight of the week: Brady Stober made his first start and was National Freshman of the Week.
Well, moving on to women's soccer. Speaking of, here's the team that's been winning all over the place. Samford Soccer on an absolute heater. They haven't lost in their last 12 matches. They won over Mercer and ETSU this week, both 3-0 victories. The ladies finish away at UNCG before the SoCon tournament. With their win over ETSU on Sunday, the team clinched at least a share of the regular season title. A tie or a win clinches the full title against UNCG. Western Carolina, who Samford played in the SoCon tournament final last year, sits in second this year at 5-1-2, and Samford is 6-0-2. Samantha DeLuca, a Little Rock native, leads the conference in total goals and tied for first in goals in the conference. Her 12 goals, actually, are tied for fourth in the entire country. So she's been on a tear. Peyton Hole goalies. She's had multiple clean sheets throughout this whole stretch. Awesome seeing Samford Soccer back to their winning ways, from which the super high standard they set for themselves, right, with all the championships. So it's fine getting back to the kind of run, and props to Coach Yelton for kind of getting this group in gear. Haven't lost since losing to Alabama back in August.
And women's volleyball. After a slow start to conference play, we may have found our stride against the bottom of the conference. Samford topped Citadel and Mercer this week and improved to 3-5 in conference play after starting 0-4. Furman and UNCG are up next, both at home and ahead of us in the SoCon standings, so this may be a good opportunity for us to move up. The current women's volleyball standings in the SoCon are ETSU 8-0, UTC 6-2, Furman 5-3, UNCG 5-3, Wofford 5-3, Samford 3-5, Mercer 2-6, Western Carolina 2-6, and Citadel Land Golf at 0-8.
Yeah, volleyball. I was getting excited as I was seeing these results come in, and then I saw that those teams are at the bottom of the league. We are 3-0 against the teams below us, winless against the teams ahead of us.
That's what you got to do.
But hey, we have some confidence back. It looks like we got a little bit of swagger, and that's important with a momentum game like volleyball. Soccer, though, guys, I mean, we knew we were good. Obviously, Samford's not going to be bad, but the offense was a question last year. It was a question early this year. My gosh, has that question been answered? I mean, DeLuca, stud. 4th in the country. I mean, guys, we're rolling right now.
Yeah, pretty impressive, especially the players that have come before her, right? The Jermaine Ciopacinoways we've seen over our time at Samford. So yeah, pretty cool to kind of see here in the top. Like you said, top in the country, tied for 4th in goals. The leader in the country, this girl from Florida Gulf Coast, is 18. So Samantha's tied for 4th at 12 with a handful of other players at 12.
18 is crazy.
18 is dumb. Colorado, a girl is 14. Notre Dame girl is 13, and then there's a group of those at 12, and that's where Samantha sits.
Right on. All right, boys, we got UTC this week. How we feeling? We feeling good? Talked about a little bit. We're gonna lose. Yeah.
Basketball starts in 12 days.
Yes, I guess it does. Yes, it does.
I was thinking about it as, we're sitting here talking about football. The important thing is that we continue to talk about Samford football.
Yes.
Even in these moments.
Why?
Like, even in these seasons. Why? I mean, do we want to? No, I don't want to.
No.
Because it feels like over the last 3 years, 4 years? I don't know. It just feels like we've kind of been like on this nice ride or rise to at least like build some like good athletic programs. And we do have those, like women's soccer, men's basketball. But football has fallen off. And so I was just sitting there thinking about it. I was like, we need to keep talking about it. And it's important for our listeners and the community and all that. But I don't know, man. We just I'll get off my soapbox.
I agree. No, I
I'm
agree.
just trying to think out loud
It's
here. It's like,
weird. Yeah.
We got to survive the next
year
and a half.
We're 1-6, dude.
Yeah, we're terrible. There's no momentum.
Yeah, everything on campus is on the rise. You even go to winter sports. Baseball is always real good. Softball had an amazing year last year, looking to improve on that. And Megan's second year. So you see all these sports take it off. Men's basketball, obviously, with the rise. Baseball, soccer, volleyball has been good recently.
Tennis.
And so it's
tennis.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry, tennis. We talked to Coach Reynolds. Tennis, both sides, men and women's, are on the rise, and then football's on the other side.
Football
of the
and
roller
men's
coaster
golf,
going down.
just not pulling their weight.
Who gets the most money?
Basketball.
Football, right?
Maybe from like a scholarship perspective, but every extra dollar goes to basketball. But I bet you're right, Jeb. Total, probably football. It's so expensive. Plus, we have a band.
Yeah,
which is incredibly expensive to have. Yeah, they don't go to the basketball
really
games, but that's a conversation for every episode, frankly.
We didn't like really have a band when we were there.
We did for football. Again, it's only for football.
Yeah, but it was. Yeah.
They were there.
I mean, there's one across the street you can use, so just use that one.
They're not bad. Shout out Humboldt High.
They're always out there practicing.
They are, yeah. Yeah.
You hear him, you're like, must be our band. Nope. Not our band.
Yeah.
We do need to get to the bottom of that. If we, especially because we're going to be pretty good at basketball again, we need the band to come to the games. I think we rent a band every home game, except for maybe a handful.
Yeah, they do a mix of all of them. I don't know what obviously what the schedule is, but yeah, they do some
band or baby races.
We need to put our politics aside internally, Samford, and please, for the good of the program, let's get the band out there. No, remember this, to the band director, the people in charge of the band, no one person is bigger than the program.
Yeah, okay.
No one person's bigger than the program. Boys, we got UTC this week. Let's get it done. Got the good times rolling. Hugh Freeze might be the next head coach at Samford. Watch out. No, but seriously, let's try to have a competitive game against the mocks because this is always a fun one.
Basketball anyway. So
Basketball's coming up, and watch out for those Furman burner accounts. At this time of year, they're always popping up all over the place. Never know when you're going to catch a stray, so be safe out there. With that, State of the Bulldogs is out, and we'll catch y'all next week.